Hi, Orangeman speaking, and if you clicked on this video, then you probably know about game Rooms on Roblox. It's one of the reasons one of the best games on Roblox Doors even exists, but the state it is, and right now isn't that good. So some people decided to remake that game. One of these remakes was Rooms and Doors. This game is one of the best remakes of the original Rooms that you can find on this platform. Just like Doors Soft Lore, Rooms Revisited, and some other. But even though it's a really good remake of the original Rooms, it's actually based on a game called Plus, which is another remake of Rooms, making Rooms and Doors actually remake of a remake. So what exactly is Plus? Even though it's called a remake, I would say it's Rooms, but with some sprinkles on top of it. So because of that, I'll be talking about both Rooms and the Plus version at the same time. Can I just say that finding a Plus version was a really hard task? There is almost no trace of that game on the internet. If you type Roblox Rooms Plus in your search engine, there's gonna be no results about the actual Plus version, and instead there's gonna be just a bunch of different Rooms games and wiki for them. And searching it on Roblox is no luck either. But luckily, a nice and kind Rooms and Doors wiki actually got our backs by giving a link to that game. And well, it's nothing interesting really. It's just the same as the original Rooms, with the same entities, at least for my knowledge, because I don't want to torture myself playing it for any longer. The same A60, the same gameplay, the same graphics, and the other stuff that was presented in the Rooms here in Rooms Plus, alongside with some new rooms, extra starting room, and room that was scrapped in the Rooms with the text, "No escape, we are infinity." So at the end, these two games are pretty boring and serve no actual purpose besides being a history object. So let's just move to the main topic of this video. Rooms and Doors. When you join the game for the first time, you'll be greeted with the cutscene where you get to the main building where the game takes place in on your little boat. This place is taken from the Rooms Plus, where you can see this boat at the first room, and then you start playing after going to otolaryngologist demo version, where at the end of the skull and unique test, the game will tell us that we either deaf, partially deaf, or all good. And the first thing I want to highlight are the graphics of the game. It still managed to keep the original Room style as well as the classic Roblox style, but it also makes it look really good, using amazing lighting and animations, then just really nice textures and models. I do really think this is one of the reasons that made me keep playing and not just rage quit after some parts of the game. If it wasn't for the graphics, I would have probably just dropped the game in the middle of my playthrough. The style, even in darkness where you spend most of the time, is really appealing, from the environment of the rooms to entity designs. Entity designs in this game feels really nice if they don't originate from the rooms itself. So any other entity beside A60 and A120 look pretty good, especially if they are 3D modeled and not just PNGs. And while we are here and talking about entity designs, why not talk about how they function in the game? But before that, we need to learn about the core mechanics of the game. The most important things in the game are the life source, stamina bar, and health bar. First off, the stamina bar uses to run, slam open doors, and just to do some other actions. If you are exhausted or used all your stamina, you'll take damage if you do any of the actions that use stamina, and that could result in death. So yeah, don't overwork yourself. A health bar is, well, your health. Almost every entity in the game would rather just deal damage to you instead of actually insta-killing you. That makes the game a little bit easier, allowing you to do some mistakes, like going to locker a little bit late. Health also takes a long time to actually regenerate, so be careful and try not to take any damage. And finally, light. Light is the most important thing in this game. You need light to see, and without that, you're just gonna die. To provide that light, the game has 3 different items items. First one is flashlight. Just a normal flashlight. It provides you some light, doesn't have any interesting abilities or gimmicks, except for being able to stay in the hiding place for a little bit longer. To recharge it, you need 2 batteries. Second item is the gummy light. It's the same as the flashlight, but it cannot save you from the darkness, and it also doesn't require any batteries and need to be recharged by shaking it, which could make you lose since you're really slow if you're recharging it. To get it, you need to activate the machine in room 100. And lastly, the scanner, obtained by beating the game at least once, making it a late game item, and not many people will even get it. And it will highlight all of the batteries and make every entity have visual indicator on the screen instead of sound or any other indicators. And it also requires 4 batteries to recharge. Now, let's get to the entities. Almost all of them act around hiding places, lockers and tables. Most of the entities will require you using a locker, where on the table, you'll get hit or killed. They will either just rush through or set up camping spots, which will slow down your progress. But some other ones will do the opposite and punish you for staying in the locker for too long or for choosing a locker instead of table. And some other entities will just try to ruin your run by acting like a minor obstacle, and that can make you panic and take unnecessary damage or even get killed. This game also explores the topic of variants for entities, prime versions. They have a chance to attack after the main entity's attack, where they would make your flashlight flicker and make your scanner glitch. Entity that has prime versions are A60, A200, and A90. The first ones are the main threats on your way, where A60 prime can attack more than 4 times, opening more end rooms, resulting in more entities to spawn. And A200 prime is just an annoying guy, and I hate them. For A90, it's kinda rare to spawn on his own, to the point where you would forget about his existence. So because of that, his prime version is so rare that you barely see it. And when you do, it's just like, oh my god, is that A90 prime? Oh my god, get the camera! Take a picture! It's A90 prime! Oh my god, oh my god! And that makes hard but fun gameplay loop, and I genuinely enjoy it. It gives you a challenge, but it's not that hard since there are checkpoints every 100 room, and it's also not boring because their difficulty rises, and I actually didn't see any game of this genre do something like that. Yes, you can say that Doors and Pressure does that with their no light section, but it directly changes the way you will play the game, rather than increasing the difficulty without changing any of the aspects of the game directly. Where in the Rooms and Doors, there are 3 ways that the game will rise up the difficulty. Firstly, I'll add new entities to the game based on your progress, similarly to Grace, on which I made a video where I went over some cool and unique things about it, so check it out after this one. Anywho, if in Doors and Pressure, any entity has a small chance of appearing at any point of the game without any limitations, meaning that you can possibly go against Ambush as your first entity in the run. Doors and Rooms doesn't have that problem. The game will introduce a new entity, let you understand what it does, and then add new entities to an already existing ones. And it will also appear generally at the same rate as the others, letting you learn mechanics and play around with it before giving you a new threat to worry about. The way the game used to rise up the difficulty is just making entity appear more often and attack faster. To show you, I'll just give you a comparison on how fast A60 will attack at the start of the game and at the end. And the last one is Room 500 balance change, and this is where I'm actually disappointed. After reaching Room 500, the darkness or hide rooms version will start to appear no matter what, where before that, it used to completely stop attacking when A120 and A200 were attacking you. And that means that you need to risk going out to the locker to survive. And it would work perfectly fine if you would actually need to leave your locker at least once during their attacks, but because you're not getting punished at all for staying in the locker at the start of the game. On door 500, you are just thrown into a harder version of the game, and probably most people won't know patterns of these two entities, and you need to learn how to actually survive them when you can't just camp in the locker. So you have to learn two new patterns of the entities where you're already used to sitting in the locker to survive them. And it's the point of the game where all the entities are already present, making learning patterns of the attacks a lot harder. And the fact that you've met them before doesn't help at all, because at least for me, I wasn't able to memorize patterns just from sitting in the locker. But let's talk about something good. For example, charms. Charms are one of the biggest parts of Rooms and Doors. They're your passive abilities that will either just give you a small buff, like being able to see the occupied lockers to your teammates, and some changes your core aspect of the game, linking your health with stamina and adjusting your health regeneration. To get any of these charms, you need to complete a rite of that charm. To complete it, you often need to complete some sort of challenge. Don't get hit, get to A100 fast, don't use the lockers, and other. They vary from really easy ones to really hard. And depending on how hard it is, it'll change more aspects of the game and its mechanics. With charms, you can customize a lot of different aspects of your playstyle, especially if you have all of the items in the game. It's just really nice to have the ability to modify your gameplay depending on what you like. My personal favorite charm is Charm of Desire. It allows for faster and, in my opinion, fun gameplay where you need to spend less time on the rooms and can progress way faster and gain more batteries because of it. And with a scanner, you're almost guaranteed to not run out of batteries. Other aspects of the game that I'd like to mention are lore and secret. Since the game is still in early alpha, we don't really know the full story of the game yet. So because of that, we only have some fragments of the main story. And as I understand, Rooms building is some kind of a limbo, because even after beating the game, we still return to the first room despite supposedly getting out of there. And my theory is that we're the only one who has the ability to return after dying or completing the game and start everything from the start. This is provided by Secret Room at A60. This room might seem normal at first, but there's actually a hidden secret. If you enter the vent that you can find in the room, you can see a modified flashlight that emits a blue light and allows to see a part of some kind of drawing. For now, we cannot really do anything with it, but if we come back to this room after getting a scanner, we can see a bacon girl in the vent that looks just like ghost that players turn into when spectating. Right now, with all the info that we have, I think that this bacon girl could be either A, just a traveler like a player that has been caught at door 60, or B, a spirit of A60 or multi-monster. But I think that the first version is more likely to be true, because if it would be a spirit of A60, then why can't we find any of the rooms where other spirits live, like A100 or A120? Yes, it might be just because the game isn't finished, but still. So because of that, I'll stick to the first theory. And this bacon girl also had a modified flashlight that allows to see hidden messages that were either made by the bacon herself, which I think is true because she has the flashlight, and she also asked about one of her drawings, or by someone else, someone we don't know about yet, or the guest. He's one of the characters that we can talk to, and the only one that is actually alive, either because he never entered the room building, or because he was able to go through all the doors to escape, but that still needs to be discovered. But what we know for sure is that he knows who we are. He's keeping an eye on us, using his TV, and he's the one who helps us understand how entities work, using his guiding tapes that appear on the death screen. And he also knows about the Bacon Girl, meaning that he connected to all of the NPCs in the game. And about Bacon Girl, by using a scanner, we can also see a RGB code of the flashlight, 500255. And if you've been looking through the main menu, then you could have found menu to make your own mod. There you can change some messages for the entities and their colors. That's just a little neat feature that allows for some creative people to shine. But what we really need is the flashlight settings. You can change its color. And if you use our newly discovered flashlight code and then read it in this menu and go on a run, and if we get past A50, then we can see secret messages written on the walls. And if we go to the room A60 with a flashlight and an enemy charm that we get for being a ghost for long enough, we can actually talk to Bacon Girl and see hidden messages on the walls. Most of them will tell you how to get some specific charms in the game, while for other will give us some more lore. The first one is enemy picture, and if we ask Ghost Girl about it, she'll say what we do to survive, possibly hinting that the charm of envy is the only reason why she stayed as the ghost. Other drawing is third one is no escape or infinity. To that, Ghost Girl will say that we broke the cycle, possibly the cycle of some kind of limbo thing that I've talked about. And the last one is the picture of eye. Those can appear in the normal rooms as well. These eyes are markers that tell you that if you turn off the light, you can actually go through this wall. And behind the wall in the A60 vent, we'll find a clock that will now appear at the start of the run and tell you your real life time and date. I've tried experimenting with it, like setting dates to the date when rooms were created, but had no luck because if you do it before joining the game, Roblox will give you an error and won't let you join. And if you change it in the game, the only thing I've noticed is that the main menu will have the static, but when you join the run, time will be normal again. So if you know what you can do with this clock, then tell others in the comments. But going back to eyes, in normal rooms, they will also allow you to see where you can go through the walls. And there will either be a hiding spot that is different from the others in the room. So if there are tables in the room, there are gonna be a locker. Or there can also be a safe spot for A60. And you can actually access these rooms without modified flashlight, as it's only needed to find those spots. So I went and checked all of the unique rooms and found out that the safe room has this, and to be honest, I don't know what it means. But going back to just overall secrets and details, some of the entities' names actually have some secret meanings. Calypta, aka the hand, is actually a Greek word that is similar to verbs to hide, to cover, and that is the exact tactic to survive their attacks. Take a cover and hide on the table. A90, with the official name Paralysis, also hints how to survive the entity attack, because paralysis is the loss of motor functions of some of the muscles, making a person unable to move them. And for A100 or pneuma, there's no exact term for this word, but it might be a short version of a verb pneumonia, and it's a lung disease. But I don't really know how to connect any of it to mechanics, and the only thing that I can think of is the fact that with this disease, people cough, and pneuma can hear microphone, and coughing is making sounds, and like if you cough, you'll trigger them, and yeah. The game also has an anti-cheating system where you would get sent into the serious room, and also has some secret entities like A666 and the voices. Even banners have some secrets to it. If you go through all of the banners, you can see the B section of the game on one of them, which will possibly be added later, and it will possibly be some kind of basement. And I think it's really nice to know what we could possibly wait for in the next updates. In the end, I would like to say that Rooms and Doors is a really nice game. Surprisingly, it has a lot of replayability and hard but fun gameplay. I spent more than 30 hours and still probably missed some of the more hidden content. So you can share some facts about the game that I didn't discover in the comments, as well as hitting a like button and subscribing to the channel. It will give me more motivation to make new videos, and that's just a simple act of kindness. I really hope that this game is gonna get more updates with more different content for us to enjoy. But for now, that's it. I wish you a wonderful day, morning, evening, or any other time of day. See you next time, spread the love, and bye bye!